deserves to be the player of the year? Now, really, it probably does come down to these three guys, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, and Collin Morikawa. It's a tough choice. I don't think it's as clear-cut as people are making it out to be. When Justin Thomas was asked last week before the Tour Championship, who does he think should be player of the year? One word, me. Damon Hack, is it still Justin Thomas?
It's Dustin Johnson. And I say that being someone who really appreciates the difficulty, the history, and the majesty of winning major championships. And I really thought that it would be Collin Morikawa, but Dustin Johnson's play over the last month, like Fatal Attraction, cannot be ignored. I can't ignore what DJ has done, who he's beaten, the way he has played, 2 playoff wins, 3 wins in total, 2 runner-up finishes, including at a major championship. Dustin Johnson, to me, has done his best work since PGA Tour has come back from the pandemic, same as Collin Morikawa. No one's played better golf than Dustin Johnson over the bulk of this year. To me, it's DJ. It's close. I love what majors mean and the history of it. Justin Thomas had a fantastic run as well. I think it's Dustin Johnson. No one's playing better golf than him right now.
Paige?
I disagree. Honestly, I don't put Collin Morikawa in the discussion because 3 is just greater than 2, and I don't consider a major championship to be twice the value of any other tour event. So for me, that wasn't somebody to judge in this conversation. I think it's between JT and DJ, and I understand it's going to be a difficult decision for the players voting on it. But I give the weight to Justin Thomas just based on the field that he did win in and the tournaments that he did win in. DJ, and I'll give him all the credit in the world for getting to the position that he was, that he had a -10 walking into the Tour Championship, that he played so great in the playoffs, but he didn't have the lowest lowest number of strokes for the 4 days. And for that reason, there is a small asterisk as it relates to this being a win. To me, a win is over 72 holes, and it's the lowest stroke. And he had a net win for this Tour Championship, dare I say. So I think for that reason, I'm giving JT just the nod a little bit because to me, it's not as clear-cut of a win. It's like starting the World Series and you're up a game. To me, that it doesn't equate the same way.
But strategy's a little different, possibly. Whereas if you're Justin and you're a little more freewheeling and you start with the lead and pretty much held it the whole time for DJ, maybe you're playing a little safer. And had he needed to get those birdies, that's one of those things we'll never know. It's one of those things that we will never know. But I'm taking Dustin Johnson, and perhaps it's recency bias because he's just played so well in this last little bit. But I want to give myself a little more credit than that and say it's the career-defining win that Dustin had here, or one of the things that define his career, as if Justin Thomas had won this event, he would be Player of the Year with 4 wins. But this win at the FedexCup wouldn't define him because he's already got one, and he's still younger and has more ahead of him than DJ does just by the years. So this victory, more meaningful career-wise to Dustin Johnson than it would have been Justin Thomas, and 3 wins. But again, I'm going to go a little bit of the recency bias and the importance of this win. JT, of course, won a World Golf Championship, but he had a World Golf Championship before. He had already won the Tournament of Champions and the CJ Cup.
He leads statistically in certain categories. DJ, I think he led #1 in PGA Tour in one category. It's like 3rd round scoring.
But in a way, that makes it more impressive because he was stinking for a while.
Which is also true.
The season-long stats show what you did season-long, and DJ was in the middle, or just even a few weeks back, even after Travelers win. He wasn't on our radar as Player of the Year.
And I think to some extent there is that kind of elevation change in DJ's year that Justin Thomas just didn't have. He was kind of maintained steady throughout.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned there, Robert, about DJ stinking before the break. He came back in June, ranked 111th in the FedexCup standings. He comes into the Tour Championship ranked 1st. The journey that he's been on since June is phenomenal and absolutely deserves recognition. But I think Collin Morikawa, Paige, I think you were a little dismissive of his PGA Championship when there was only one major this season, and Collin was the man who got it done, teeing it up in his first real PGA Championship. I think his fellow competitors will appreciate what he achieved, and Justin Thomas as well. Yes, he did shoot a lower score to par than DJ last week at the Tour Championship, but as Robert said, it could have been strategy. DJ was possibly more on the defense than he would have been had he had been not such a clear advantage coming into that final round. So I don't think it's as clear-cut, Paige.
So are you picking Morikawa?
I'm not, but I do think his major win shouldn't be overlooked as a reason why he is a very valuable player of the year.
No, and he did nearly win also, in Texas at the beginning of the restart as well. So.
And he did beat Justin Thomas head-to-head, mano-a-mano at Muirfield Village during the workday. Listen, it's very, very close. What I've learned over the last couple of years is what the players value of the FedEx Cup. And they view it not maybe equal to the majors, but maybe closer than I thought it would be. Back in 2007 when it began. It's created its own history, its own legacy. We saw 3 weeks of fantastic golf, and I think it's very, very close. I'm not a huge fan of the staggered start, though I like it better than fuzzy math. Dustin Johnson won the tournament that was presented to him. He may not have had the lower score, which is what we're used to seeing over 4 days of tournament golf. He won. These are the rules. He played by the rules. He won the golf tournament. Shouldn't be an asterisk by it whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, anything is better than fuzzy math. And I know you were split with indecision coming into the show as to who you were going to pick for your player of the year. It's not a clear one. It'll be very interesting to see